What's going on, everybody? Your boy Sin back for Anime Vault Season 3, Episode 3. Anime Vault's where I sit down, I go back and I revisit the animes that made me a fan that I am today and see if they still hold up after all this time. Before we get into it, I know what I need y'all to do. Like, share, subscribe, all the rigmarole. You know what I'm saying? We really appreciate it. It helps us keep moving forward with the things that we want to do here. And also, go check out our Patreon. We have specific stuff over there just for people who sign up for Patreon. A lot of fun stuff going on. Go check out the tiers, see which one works the best for you. Jump in and let's have a good time together. So let's get into this. On this episode, we're going to be talking about Iria, Zeiram the Animation. So we like to start with why does it resonate with me? And yes, the violence and the action is there, of course. But this was the first time I think I recognized world building. And that is what I was completely kind of fascinated with at a young age watching this. All from the vehicles and just thinking in my brain of how does that even work? How does that operate? To the world itself, looking at the buildings, looking at the people in it, to how they're dressed. Even the gadgets that the bounty hunters use in this. I was kind of just, for some reason, just fascinated with it all. And I think that's the one thing that drew me to it. Because I first got caught on to this late night on Sci-Fi Channel. You know, happened to turn it on. It was there. I caught the episode they were showing, went, rented it, saw the whole thing. Ended up, buying it years down the line when it came on DVD. But yeah, it was the world building aspect of this that drew to me and kind of just always planted that seed and left there in the back of my mind. So that's why it resonated with me. Now, to know what this show is about, there's only 6 episodes. It is OVA. So let me read you the synopsis. I'm going to read it straight from Anime News Network so you can understand what it's about before we get into whether you should take the time to watch it for yourself. So I'm going to read this all to you. Iria is the story of a girl and an alien being she loves to hate. I don't get that statement, but we're going to keep going. The series begins with her brother, Gren, taking the job. He is a bounty hunter and a well-known one for his incredible skill. Iria, being a skilled apprentice bounty hunter herself, tags along. What is the job, one might ask? It is to find out what happened to the crew and a cargo of a space station. Needless to say, nothing is as it seems, and the war between Iria and Zeiram begins in earnest. Okay, that's the basic plot summary right there. So, with that right there, do you take the time out of your busy schedule to give this one a viewing? Yes, no, or maybe? I'm going to go with maybe, almost leaning to yes. But let me get into why I say that. But you know what we like to start here? We like to start with the opening, and we actually have one this time around. We haven't had one for a few episodes now. So let's get into the opening. The opening, I would say visually, it's okay. Nothing to write home about, nothing special whatsoever. It's okay, it's kind of typical, it's kind of basic. The intro music, though, very old school, but I would say you'll be kind of bopping to it by at least the 3rd episode. You may not know how you feel about it at first listen, but it'll hit you somewhere and you'll be bopping to it for sure. I would consider it a solid overall. Nothing special. I'm not sure it might be on a lot of people's playlists, but a solid intro theme song overall, I would say. So now, let's get into the characters and see if they still hold up after all this time. I'm going to say no, they really don't. Like, there's nothing necessarily special about them. You probably will honestly forget about them not too long after you moved on to something else. But let's just run through the characters real quick, the main ones to set this whole stage up. We have Fujikuro, who is, he's the type of bounty hunter that will steal your bounty from you. So him and Iria constantly have friction through the entire run of this. That's what it is. That's their thing. You have Kay, who's a little girl that she meets on another planet that somehow ends up tagging along with them. And she wants to be just like Iria, so she wants to do everything that Iria does. You have Bob, who's like the bounty hunter leader, or he's the one that gives them their jobs and their missions and all that kind of stuff. He might have had the most character development in there because I don't know how, but spoiler alert, he gets killed and comes back as an AI. They don't really explain it. You just take it and run with it. So, okay, sure, that's what we're gonna do. So let's get into the focus of the three main characters that this story kind of revolves around, which is Iria, Gren, and Zeiram. Iria is a complete badass. She idolizes her brother. She wants to be just like him. She's only an apprentice, so she's of course busting her ass, working hard to become a full-time bounty hunter, just like her brother, who's already certified. People know him; they know he's certified in that world. And you have Zeiram, who is, as they describe, an alien space creature, who is so terrifying and pretty much immortal from what the stories have heard, which I find weird because Iria has never heard of Zeiram, but everyone else in the show, whether they're bounty hunter or civilian, seems to know of the legend of Zeiram. So that was kind of weird for me. But after their first interaction with him, Gren gets killed, kind of, and basically becomes Zeiram. There's not really a real explanation for it, but that's what happens. So then she has to go up against Zeiram to try to stop him, to bring him down, and then she's conflicted with the fact that as she ends up learning, oh, that's Gren. Is it really Gren? Is it not? Is it a clone? Is he really alive in there? That whole type of stuff. But as far as her personality and everything else, she's just headstrong. She runs forward. She does what she wants. And damned if anybody gets in her way. Pretty much. No real character growth you really see from anybody in this. Is just a fun action-packed time. A fun action adventure, if you will. So with that, let's move on to the genre itself and see if that still holds up. I would call this a action science fiction thriller. The thriller portion of it is cool. The thriller portion is cool. It's solid. The action is definitely solid for something that came out in 1994. Even watching it now, like, I wasn't hating what I was seeing or anything like that. At the most, I was sitting around watching things happen, and more so, some B-movie type of stuff. Like, come on now, she should have died like 50 times just then, especially in episode 4. There's no way she should have got out of that building when she was trying to infiltrate the corporation to non-intimidate. She should not have gotten out. It was almost frustrating to watch, but I still was having fun watching it and her do it at the same time. And still, as frustrated I was, still might have been one of my favorite episodes. But overall, yeah, the action was solid. The science fiction portion definitely was solid. Like I said, I like the world building and looking at all that type of stuff. The adventure portion, also solid. Going to multiple planets, going to space stations, just having a very real adventure. I enjoyed. So let's just get to overall. Overall, I think it's a fun 6 episodes to sit and watch. I would revisit it if, like, I haven't seen it in a long time, like just now, and I had a taste for it. One of the most interesting things that I rack my brain around in this is, how is it that Iria, who is an apprentice bounty hunter, is able to constantly go toe-to-toe with Zeiram? Because they do. Like, they fight, they're on site whenever they see each other, and they see each other multiple times. She's able to go toe-to-toe with him to a standstill almost every time they fight. But everybody else that Zeiram comes across, whether they got tanks, lasers, machine guns, anything, get decimated. Decimated like it's no problem. Like, it's hard for me just to wrap my brain around that. Like, even Gren, her brother, who's supposed to be the most badass of badasses, lost to him, but she goes toe-to-toe with him every single time. I will say, though, all her different little gadgets and tricks that she used, I did like all those. Those were a lot of fun. I wish I knew more about them, but those were pretty cool to watch for me. But overall, it's okay. Like, if you want a fun, little, quick action science fiction adventure, it's only 6 episodes. It won't take you long to get through it. Like, it's cool. Like I said, it's nothing super special, but it's a fun little, viewing, especially when you clean the palette, try something a little different. Yeah, I would recommend it. And also, if you're wondering why it's called Iria, Zeiram the Animation, that's because in 1991, they released a live action movie called Zeiram. And then after that, they did a short OVA anime version of it. So that's why it's called the animation. I've never seen the live action, I think it's on YouTube though. Maybe I'll check it out. Yeah. So until next week, I'll catch y'all later. Deuces.
Loading snacks.
What's going on, everybody? Did you enjoy what you saw? Of course you did. So if you want to help us out and support us, here's what you can do. On whatever platform you're currently streaming us on, just like, share, and subscribe. Then head over to patreon.com/loading snacks and become one of our patrons there.